I accidentally caused a dog to lose a leg, and my life has been completely turned upside down since then. Tuesday, 2:47 p.m. I was returning a defective router to Best Buy when I saw Beverly Morrison on the escalator ahead of me. She had Princess, her chihuahua, tucked in her designer purse like always. Then everything went to hell in 4 seconds. Princess saw another dog at the bottom, jumped straight out of the purse. I reached forward on instinct, trying to catch her. My fingers brushed her fur, but she fell anyway, landing wrong on the metal grooves. Her tiny back leg slipped between the moving steps. The sound. God, the sound. Princess shrieking. This high-pitched scream I'd never heard a dog make. Her leg was getting pulled deeper into the mechanism. I slammed the emergency button. 4 seconds to stop. 4 seconds of her leg twisting, blood spreading across the metal, Beverly screaming, "You pushed her! You pushed my baby!" 3 people had phones out, filming. A kid started crying. A woman gagged and ran to the trash can. I tried to help, but Beverly shoved me back. "Don't touch her! You did this!" Fire department took 14 minutes. They had to dismantle part of the escalator. When they finally freed Princess, her leg was hanging by tendons, just hanging there. Beverly cradled her, blood soaking into her white blazer, screaming at me the whole time. "He lunged at her. Everyone saw it. He tried to kill my dog. Police took statements. 7 witnesses. Security footage showed me reaching forward, but you couldn't tell if I was trying to help or something else. I gave my insurance information. Figured that would be the end of it." 8 p.m. Got a text from an unknown number. Photo of Princess post-amputation. 3 legs now. The message just said, "This is your fault." Couldn't sleep that night. Kept hearing those screams. Day 3. Woke up at 3 a.m. to a crash. Someone had knocked over both trash cans. Garbage everywhere. Day 4. HOA violation notice on my door. Grass was 3.2 inches. Regulation is 3.0. Fine, $275. My grass had been the same height for 6 months. Day 5. Internet cable cut at the junction box. Lost 5 hours of work. Lost $340 in billable hours. The technician said it looked deliberate. Day 6. Another HOA violation. The bird feeder, my grandmother's bird feeder that had been there 10 years, was not approved. Fine, $225. Day 7. Went to my car. DOGKILLER, keyed across the driver's side. Deep gouges through the paint. Body shop estimate, $1,100. Day 8. HOA violation for my car being 3 inches over the sidewalk line. Fine, $200. I'd parked the same way for 2 years. Day 9. Dead rat on my doorstep. Fresh, still bleeding. Day 10. Princess's collar in my mailbox. The one she was wearing during the accident. Still had blood on it. Note underneath. This is just starting. I sat at my kitchen table and did the math. $700 in fines. $1,440 in property damage. $340 in lost income. 10 days. Then I remembered something. The day after my grandmother's funeral, Beverly had shown up at my door, offered $175,000 cash for the house. The house was worth $415,000. When I said no, she'd said, "This neighborhood isn't for young people anyway." That was 8 months ago. My security camera picked up something at 5:12 a.m. Beverly's husband Frank in my front yard, measuring my grass with a ruler, actually measuring it. I Googled them. Frank Morrison, retired police sergeant, 24 years on the force. Beverly Morrison, HOA president since 2016. Then I checked the neighborhood Facebook group. Post from yesterday. Warning about dangerous resident at 447 Oak Street. That's my address. Already had 89 comments. He attacked a service dog. That poor little princess will never walk normally again. We need to protect our neighborhood. I always knew something was off about him. He should be in jail. Animal abusers often escalate to humans. One comment from Harold Brennan, my elderly neighbor. This is nonsense. James is a good kid. His grandmother would be ashamed of all of you. His comment had 47 angry reactions. Someone replied, "Okay, boomer, go back to bed." I sat there staring at my laptop screen. The video from the escalator, edited to start right when I reached forward, already had 1,200 views. Someone had added slow motion and a red circle around my hand. The caption, "Local man attacks helpless chihuahua, amputation required." My phone buzzed. Another unknown number. This time a photo of my house, taken tonight. I could see myself through the window, sitting at this exact table. They're going to destroy me. I filed the police report on day 11. Officer Daniels showed up at my door, took one look at my documentation, and shook his head. "Frank Morrison trained me," he said, not even pretending to review my security footage. "Good man. 24 years on the force. He was measuring my grass at 5 in the morning with a ruler. That's not illegal. Man cares about his neighborhood. What about the vandalism? The dead rat? The collar with blood on it?" Officer Daniels closed his notepad. "Coincidences aren't harassment, Mr. Chen. You got any proof Beverly or Frank did any of this? Actual proof? The video shows a man checking grass height. That's all." He stood up. "Look, that incident with the dog was unfortunate. But maybe give them time to cool down. These things usually resolve themselves." He left without filing anything. I requested an HOA meeting immediately. They scheduled it 3 weeks out. 3 more weeks of daily violations. Another $800 in fines by the time the meeting came. Meeting night. I walked into the community center and stopped. 43 neighbors packed the room. I recognized maybe 5. Beverly had invited everyone. She entered last, pushing Princess in a custom wheelchair. The little chihuahua's remaining back leg dragged uselessly while the wheels supported her hindquarters. The room went silent. Beverly had timed it perfectly. Before we addressed the fines, Beverly started, pulling out her phone. I think everyone should see what really happened. She played the edited footage on the projector screen. It started right as I reached forward, in slow motion. With dramatic music, she'd added. You couldn't see Princess jumping. Just my hand moving toward the dog, then chaos. He attacked my service animal, Beverly said, voice breaking. Princess will never walk normally again. I stood up. That's edited. I have the full footage showing. You mean the footage you've been taking of my husband? Frank interrupted from the back row. I've seen you filming my property. Multiple times. You were in my yard measuring grass. So you admit to surveilling us? Frank stood up. That's stalking. I could file charges. I pulled out my laptop. Ayo, here's the real footage. We've seen enough, said Tom Bradley, HOA board president. Let's vote on the fines. You haven't seen my evidence? All in favor of upholding the fines? 5 hands went up. Unanimous. Motion carries. Additionally, Mr. Chen, you're being fined $150 for intimidating board members during this meeting. What? I haven't intimidated anyone. Your aggressive tone says otherwise. Tom wouldn't even look at me. Meeting adjourned. Everyone filed out, giving me a wide berth. Several people took photos of me with their phones. Beverly wheeled Princess past me slowly, making sure I could see the custom prosthetic attached to her stump. Such a shame, she said loudly. She was so beautiful before. The next morning, Maya stayed over for the first time since the incident. She'd been nervous about coming, but wanted to support me. We woke to the sound of breaking glass. Her windshield was smashed. Dog killer's whore spray painted across the hood in red. Maya stood there shaking. James, what the hell? I'll pay for it. Insurance will... That's not the point, she was crying now. This is insane. The repair estimate came to $1,800. Her insurance classified it as vandalism. $500 deductible plus increased premiums. That afternoon, Maya called from work. Her voice was barely a whisper. My boss just pulled me aside. The clinic got 15 calls today, all about me supporting an animal abuser. Someone sent him the video. Maya, I'm so sorry. He told me to take unpaid leave until this resolves. She was crying again. James, I'm a vet assistant. This is my career. If this spreads, it won't. I'll fix this. How? How will you fix this? I didn't have an answer. 2 hours later, my phone buzzed. Email from Global Tech Solutions, my biggest client. I'd worked with them for 3 years. James, we've been made aware of a serious incident involving animal abuse. While we appreciate your past work, we cannot be associated with this type of behavior. Your contract is terminated effective immediately. Final invoice will not be processed. Do not contact us again. $47,000. Gone. Just like that. Over half my annual income. My brother Derek showed up that evening without calling first, still in his police uniform from his shift in the next county. James, what the fuck is happening? I'm getting calls about you at my station. I showed him everything, the footage, the documentation, the timeline. Derek sat there for a long time. Finally, Frank has friends everywhere. Every department in 3 counties. They protect their own. So what do? Move. Take the loss. Sell the house to Beverly for whatever she's offering. I can't. This house is all I have left of Grandma. Grandma's dead, James. And if you stay here, your life will be too. It's my home. Was. It was your home. Now it's a war zone, and you're outnumbered. That night, Derek left, and I checked Facebook. Mistake. Westfield Community Watch Group. The video was pinned at the top. Man attacks service dog, amputation results, posted by Beverly 4 days ago, 31,000 views. The edited version, starting with my lunge, slow motion, red arrow pointing at my hand, princess's screams amplified, then photos of her post-surgery, bandaged stump visible, lying in a tiny hospital bed. 2,100 comments. I scrolled through them. This monster should be in prison. Someone should cut his leg off. See how he likes it. I know where he lives. 447 Oak Street. If he did this to a dog, imagine what he'd do to a child. Psychopath. Classic signs. My business reviews. I'd maintained 4.8 stars for 5 years. Now, 1.2 stars. Hundreds of new reviews. Animal abuser. Do not hire. Supports dog torture. Would give 0 stars if possible. Hired him before I knew. Wish I hadn't. My phone rang. Local pizza place. Large pepperoni for James Chen? I didn't order. Says here you wanted it at 2 a.m. That's going to be $23.50. This happened 8 times that night. Different restaurants. All cash on delivery. All refusing to believe I hadn't ordered. Morning came. Opened my front door. Stepped in something. Dog shit. Fresh. In a bag that had been set on my porch and stomped on. Then I saw Harold and Ruth Brennan, my elderly neighbors, cleaning graffiti off their fence. Abuser lovers in black spray paint. Harold, I'm so sorry. Ruth turned to me, tears in her eyes. We defended you online, James. Said you were a good boy. Said your grandmother would be ashamed of them. I saw. Thank you. They destroyed our garden last night. She pointed to their yard. 40 years of rose bushes, torn up by the roots. Garden gnomes smashed. Koi pond filled with bleach, fish floating. My gnomes, they were from our trips. Harold put his arm around her. We deleted our comments, James. We can't. We're too old for this. They went inside. Didn't look back. Week 3. Monday morning, I discovered Beverly had formed the Oak Street Safety Committee, 12 members. Official mission, protecting our neighborhood from dangerous individuals. They had meetings. Actual meetings. I found their flyer under my door, my photo from my LinkedIn profile with animal abuser in red letters underneath. If you see this man approaching children or pets, call 911 immediately. By Wednesday, I'd pieced together their schedule. They were organized, methodical. Mondays, call campaigns. Every client in my portfolio received calls about employing an animal abuser. Lost 3 more clients that week, down to 4 regulars. Wednesdays, property damage, always something. Broken sprinkler head / garden hose, paint thinner on my car hood. Fridays, HOA violations, like clockwork. Trash can 1 inch too far from curb. Weeds in sidewalk crack. Oil stain on driveway. But the roses. God, the roses hurt the most. Grandma had planted those roses in 1987. Pink Coretta roses. She'd babied them through 35 winters. I'd promised to take care of them. Thursday morning, they were dead. Everyone. Leaves black and shriveled. Tested the soil later. Industrial herbicide. The kind that makes nothing grow for years. Her memorial plaque by the garden. Elizabeth Chen, 1934 to 2023, she made everything bloom. Someone had scratched out her name, carved DOGKILLERSGRANDMA instead. Friday brought the email that almost ended my business entirely. JamesChenFessions@gmail.com had sent messages to every client I'd ever worked with. The subject line, an apology I need to make. Dear valued client, this is James Chen. I need to confess something that's been weighing on me. I've been hiding my true nature from you. The recent incident with the dog wasn't an accident. I enjoy hurting animals. I've done it before. I'll do it again. I'm seeking help, but I understand if you can no longer work with me. James. 7 clients gone within hours. 2 years of relationship building, destroyed. My business insurance agent called that afternoon. Mr. Chen, we're reviewing your policy. You've been classified as a high-risk profile. For what? I haven't filed any claims. Reputational risk. The negative reviews, the social media presence. We may have to terminate coverage. You can't do business in my field without liability insurance, which is why we're giving you 30 days notice. Find another provider. No other provider would touch me. 8 rejections in 2 days. I sat in my home office staring at my screen. 4 clients left. Maybe $20,000 annual income if they all stayed. Savings down to $11,000. My phone buzzed. Another unknown number. Another photo. This time of Maya's car in her apartment complex parking lot. License plate clearly visible. The message, she's next. I called Maya immediately. Pack a bag. Go to your parents. James, what? Just go, please. Tonight. She was crying. This is insane. Over a dog? Over an accident? It's not about the dog anymore. It never was. I hired Susan Chen, no relation, the next Monday. She came recommended as someone who'd fought HOA battles before. $2,500 retainer. Nearly a quarter of my remaining savings, but I was desperate. We need to file a harassment complaint immediately, she said, reviewing my documentation. This is clearly coordinated. Her phone rang. She frowned, answered, listened. Her face changed. They filed first. Beverly Morrison just submitted a restraining order request against you. What? She's the one. Doesn't matter who started it. First to file has advantage. Hearing set for Thursday. Thursday. Court. Judge Thompson presiding. A man who looked exhausted before we even started. Beverly entered with Frank and their lawyer. Princess was in her wheelchair, service vest prominently displayed. Beverly had clearly coached her to whimper periodically. Frank took the stand first. 24 years of testimony experience showed. Calm, measured, professional. Mr. Chen exhibits aggressive behavior patterns, Frank stated. I've observed him watching our house at unusual hours, recording us, following my wife's routine. Those are serious allegations, Judge Thompson said. I have 11 neighbors who will corroborate. 11 members of the Oak Street Safety Committee. One by one, they testified. He stares at us when we walk by. Very aggressive energy. I don't feel safe with my children. He followed me once. I'd never seen this woman before. Classic stalker behavior. My lawyer cross-examined, but they all stuck to vague feelings and interpretations. Nothing concrete enough to disprove. When I testified, I tried to explain the harassment, the organized campaign. I showed my documentation. Judge Thompson barely looked at it. Mr. Chen, did you or did you not record Mr. Morrison on your property? Yes, but he was measuring my grass. Did you or did you not reach toward Mrs. Morrison's dog on the escalator? I was trying to catch. These are yes or no questions. Yes, but I've heard enough. He signed the order. Temporary restraining order granted. 500 feet minimum distance. This includes any location where Mrs. Morrison has reasonable expectation of presence. My lawyer objected. Your Honor, that effectively bans my client from his own neighborhood meetings. HOA meetings occur where Mrs. Morrison presides. He can send written correspondence. The local grocery store? Mrs. Morrison shops there regularly. There are other stores. His running route? Passes the Morrison residence. He can find another route. After court, Susan pulled me aside. They know the system. Frank's too smart. Every move is legally gray but technically permissible. But Beverly's directing all of this. You need proof. Actual proof she's orchestrating the harassment. I have hundreds of pages of documentation of things happening to you, not of her directing them. Knowing and proving are different things, James. So what do I do? Honestly? Move. That afternoon, Maya called. Her voice was hollow. My apartment complex got 3 complaint letters today about me harboring a dangerous individual. They're threatening to evict me. Maya, I'm so sorry. My car got vandalized again last night. Someone poured sugar in the gas tank. That's $3,000 in engine damage. I'll pay for... Stop. Just stop. She was crying hard now. This morning, someone left a package at my door. Photos of me, at work, at the store, at my gym, photos from the last week. Call the police, and say what? My boyfriend's neighbor is maybe stalking me? They'll laugh. That weekend, her parents drove down from Sacramento. I watched from my window as they helped her pack. Her mother kept looking around nervously, like someone might attack at any moment. Maya came to say goodbye. We stood on my porch, her parents waiting in their car. I love you, she said, but I can't do this. I'm 26. I'm a vet assistant. This is destroying my career, my life. When this is over, call me then, if it's ever over. She was crying again. But James, I don't think it will be. Not while you're here. She left, didn't look back. Just like Harold and Ruth. 2 days later, Derek texted. Captain got anonymous complaint about me using department resources for personal matter. Can't come by anymore. Sorry. The isolation was complete. Working from home became impossible. Every hour brought interruptions. Doorbell at 10 a.m., nobody there. Loud music from somewhere at 2 p.m., could never locate the source. Car alarms at midnight. My concentration shattered. Lost another client when I missed a deadline. Down to 3 clients. Maybe $15,000 annual income. Bank statement came. Savings, $8,500 after the lawyer and court costs. Checking, $1,400. Mortgage payment, $2,100. Utilities, $200. Insurance, $400. Food, $300. 3 months until bankruptcy at this rate. I sat at my kitchen table, calculator out, trying to find a path forward. The numbers didn't lie. Even if the harassment stopped today, my business was dead. My reputation destroyed. My relationship gone. My savings evaporating. Outside, I heard laughter. Beverly was in her front yard with the safety committee, Princess in her wheelchair beside them. They were pointing at my dead roses, taking photos. My phone buzzed. Another unknown number. This time, a video. Me, inside my house, shot through my bedroom window, in my underwear, getting dressed this morning. The message, nice show. Maybe we'll post this next. I closed all my blinds, sat in the dark. For the first time since this started, I wondered if they'd already won. If I was just too stubborn to admit it. Grandma's house felt like a prison now. Every room held memories of what life used to be. Before the escalator. Before those 4 seconds that destroyed everything. I pulled up the calculator again. Beverly's offer. $175,000. The house worth $415,000. A $240,000 loss. But I was already lost. The only question was how much more I was willing to lose. Wednesday morning. Opened LinkedIn to update my dying profile. Froze. The amputation video was there, on my company page. Someone had posted it as a visitor post that I couldn't delete without admin access, which LinkedIn support would take days to grant. This is what Chen IT Consulting supports. 890 views, climbing. The video was the worst one. Princess screaming, blood spreading, the vet holding up the severed leg, then photos of her learning to walk in the wheelchair, my headshot photoshopped in the corner with devil horns. Comments were pouring in. Disgusting. How is he not in jail? Never hiring this monster. Shared to all my networks. I slammed my laptop shut, stood up, knocked over my coffee, didn't care. The doorbell rang. Package on my porch. No delivery truck in sight. Inside, a stuffed chihuahua. 3 legs. The 4th leg ripped off, stuffing pulled out, covered in red paint that looked like blood, still wet, dripping. Note underneath, this could be you. Something snapped. 2 a.m. I stood in my backyard with a gas can from the garage, 5 gallons, full. Beverly's gazebo was 15 feet away, just over the fence. Beautiful white wood structure. She loved that gazebo, posted photos of it constantly. Had wine with the safety committee there every Friday. 1 match, that's all it would take. Through Beverly's kitchen window, I could see Princess. She was awake, struggling with her prosthetic leg. It had come loose. She was dragging herself across the floor, whimpering. Beverly nowhere in sight. The dog looked up. Our eyes met through the window. Princess, the victim in all this. 3 legs because of 4 seconds of chaos. Because I reached forward. Because I missed. I stood there holding the gas can, watching this broken dog struggle, and saw myself clearly. About to burn down a gazebo. About to become the monster they'd already convinced everyone I was. What would Grandma think? I put the gas can back, went inside, opened my laptop. If I couldn't fight them physically, legally, or socially, maybe I could find another way. HOA records. They had to file them publicly. State law, 3 weeks. That's how long I spent going through 7 years of documents. Every receipt, every contract, every payment. I'd lost 3 of my remaining clients by then, living off credit cards, but I kept digging. The patterns emerged slowly. Landscaping, $2,700 monthly to Premier Lawn Care LLC. I called 5 other HOAs. Same company charged them $750 to $800. Our neighborhood was smaller than 3 of them. Emergency repairs, $38,000 over 3 years. No specifics. I checked city permits, none filed. For that amount of work, permits were legally required. Pool maintenance, $18,000 since 2020. The pool was filled with concrete in 2019. I had the photos from Grandma's files. Vendor for everything. Desert Sun Services, LLC, registered in Nevada. I paid $50 for a corporate record search. Owner, Anthony Morrison, Frank's cousin. Total suspicious payments, $287,431 over 8 years. I needed someone who'd know more. Searched old HOA minutes. Janet Ross, former board treasurer. Resigned suddenly in 2021 for personal reasons. Found her on Facebook, sent a careful message. She agreed to meet but only 40 miles away at a Denny's in Riverside. She was that scared. Janet looked exhausted, kept checking the parking lot. I questioned the landscaping costs in 2021, she said, sliding a folder across the table. Beverly said I was confused. Then she mentioned my daughter Amy was applying to USC, said it would be tragic if the admissions board heard about Amy's high school suspension. What suspension? Amy got caught with vodka at prom. Minor thing, sealed juvenile record, but Beverly knew, said she had connections at USC who should know about Amy's character issues. She blackmailed you. I resigned the next day. Janet pushed the folder closer. These are emails between Beverly and Frank about the vendors. I printed them before I lost board access. One email stood out. Frank, need another emergency repair invoice. $5K roof work. Tony knows what to do. B. Reply. Done. Tony says thanks for the business. Cousin appreciation dinner Sunday? F. This is evidence of fraud. I tried going to the police once. Guess what? They told me it was a civil matter. Told me to hire a lawyer. You know what lawyers cost? $2,500 retainer, minimum. Exactly. And Beverly knows most of us can't afford that fight. Janet stood to leave, then turned back. She drove out the black family in 2019, the Nguyens in 2020. Now you. It's always people whose houses she wants or people who ask questions. What happened to them? Same as you. Escalating harassment until they broke. The Nguyens sold to her for 60% of value just to escape. She left. I sat there with the evidence folder, finally had proof, but proof of financial crimes, not the harassment. Still, it was something, the first something in months. That night, I compiled everything into a report. 43 pages, every transaction documented, every pattern highlighted, every connection mapped. At 3 a.m., I stopped to check the window. No one measuring grass, no packages on the porch. For the first time in months, I felt like I had a weapon. Not enough to win, but maybe enough to fight back. I spent 2 days organizing everything for the state attorney general, the report, Janet's emails, 8 years of fraudulent invoices, cross-referenced with public records, even included a timeline showing how Beverly's harassment campaigns aligned with her property acquisitions, sent it certified mail, needed the receipt for proof. Then I waited. The harassment didn't stop. If anything, it intensified. Beverly knew I was isolated now. No Maya, no Derek. Even Harold and Ruth crossed the street when they saw me. Princess became Westfield's celebrity victim. The local newspaper ran a feature. Brave, three-legged warrior. Princess's journey of survival. Full-page spread. Photos of her in her wheelchair at the dog park. Beverly crying, talking about the attack that changed their lives. The reporter never contacted me for comment. I couldn't leave my house without confrontation. Grocery store, people taking photos. Gas station, someone spit on my windshield. Even the mailman stopped making eye contact. Bank statement arrived. Savings, $4,000. Credit cards maxed at $12,000. I did the math again. Without income, I had maybe 6 weeks before missing the mortgage payment. Thursday night, I pulled up Beverly's number. My fingers hovered over the call button. She'd probably offer $200,000 now, maybe $220,000. Still highway robbery, but enough to pay off the mortgage, clear the credit cards, start over somewhere. Almost called, almost surrendered. Then my laptop dinged. Email from the state AG's office. We acknowledge receipt of your complaint. Investigation pending. Typical time frame, 6 to 12 months. Do not contact subjects of investigation. 6 to 12 months. I'd be homeless in 2. The harassment continued. Dead rabbits now, not rats. My tires slashed twice. Someone hacked my email, sent resignation letters to my last 2 clients. Down to 0 income. I started selling things. Grandma's china, my good laptop, the riding mower. Anything for another month. July 4th, big neighborhood barbecue at Riverside Park. Public property. The restraining order didn't apply there. I checked with my lawyer. I went. Don't know why. Maybe I needed to feel human again. Maybe I was tired of hiding. Everyone stared when I arrived. Conversation stopped. Parents pulled their children closer. Beverly held court near the playground, Princess in her wheelchair beside her, telling the story again. The escalator. The blood. The amputation. She'd perfected it now, knew exactly when to pause, when to cry. 3 surgeries, she was saying. The vet said she might not survive. But she's a fighter, even after that monster tried to kill her. I stood at the edge of the crowd, visible, making her uncomfortable. Frank broke away from his group of cop buddies, walked straight at me. You need to leave. Public property. I said leave. He shoved me, hard. I stumbled backward. People were filming now. Good. Touch me again. I started. What? You'll call your cop friends? He gestured to his group. They're all right here. He grabbed my phone from my hand, threw it into the parking lot. It shattered on the asphalt. Oops. Two people saw everything. A young couple I didn't recognize. Not Beverly's committee. They looked shocked. You saw that? I asked them. They nodded, uncomfortable. Would you give a statement? They exchanged glances. The woman nodded again. I filed assault charges that night using their witness statements. The desk sergeant looked annoyed but took the report. Nothing happened for months. Frank kept his distance, but the harassment continued. By November, I was living on borrowed time and borrowed money. Then, 10 months after I'd sent that package, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Mr. Chen? This is Detective Rodriguez with the State AG's office. We need to discuss your complaint. They'd found more. So much more. Beverly and Frank had been running the same scheme in their previous HOA in Arizona, left just ahead of an investigation. We're moving forward with charges, Rodriguez said. Can you testify? Yes. December 15th. I was down to $400 preparing to sell to Beverly for whatever she'd offer when the arrest happened. 7 a.m., FBI, and State AG agents. Beverly in handcuffs on her front lawn. Frank too. The whole neighborhood watching. The investigation had uncovered $287,431 in embezzlement. Charges included fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy. Beverly's lawyer was good, got her a plea deal, 18 months in minimum security. She'd serve maybe 11 with good behavior. Frank got probation and 200 hours of community service. Professional courtesy from the DA's office. Cops protecting cops even when they're dirty. The HOA went bankrupt from the investigation costs. Insurance didn't cover criminal acts by board members. I won my civil suit by default. Judgment, $12,000, never saw a penny. Can't squeeze blood from a bankrupt stone. Princess went to live with Beverly's sister. Still gets featured in local news sometimes. The miracle survivor. The story never mentions the embezzlement. Never mentions that Beverly's in prison. As far as Westfield is concerned, I'm still the monster who hurt that poor little dog. My lawyer filed the civil suit against the HOA for harassment while Beverly was still in county jail awaiting transfer. Won by default. No one left to defend the bankrupt organization. Judgment. $12,000. That's it? I asked Susan. That's the maximum the HOA insurance covers for this type of claim. And that's before my fees. After legal costs and the bankruptcy trustee took their cuts, I received a check for $3,400. $3,400 for a destroyed life. My business never recovered. Even with Beverly in prison, the internet is forever. First Google result for James Chen IT Consulting is still that escalator video. Those reviews never went away. That LinkedIn post with 890 views became 8,900 as people shared the shocking story. Tried rebranding, new company name, same result. Someone always connected the dots. Lost 70% of my career in 4 seconds on an escalator. Maya called once, 3 months after Beverly's arrest. I thought maybe, I wanted to see how you're doing, she said. Formal. Distant. It's over. Beverly's in prison. We could. James, I still have anxiety attacks. My car insurance is still high from the claims. My boss still looks at me differently. The vet clinic. They all know I dated the guy from that video. But I was innocent. I know you were. But the damage is done. It's too much damage. She wished me well. Haven't heard from her since. The house sold in March. Listed at $415,000. No offers for 2 months. The realtor was blunt. Everyone knows this house. The dog killer house. It's infamous. Finally got an offer. $385,000. Cash buyer. Out-of-state investor who didn't care about the history. $30,000 loss, but I needed out. Signed immediately. Derek helped me move. Rented a small apartment near his place. 2 counties over. 1 bedroom, 700 square feet. Anonymous. Fresh start, he said. Sure. It's been 18 months now since the escalator. I work part-time at a computer repair shop. $18 an hour. The owner doesn't know about my past or doesn't care. Keep my head down. Don't mention my old business. Still can't use escalators. Take the stairs always, even if it's 10 floors. The one time I tried, heard metal groaning and almost vomited. Pet stores are impossible. Walked into one last week. Needed to buy something for Derek's kid's hamster. Saw a chihuahua in a pen. Started shaking. Left without buying anything. The dreams are the worst. Princess screaming. That high-pitched shriek. Her leg twisting in the metal. Wake up at 2:47 a.m. sometimes. Exactly when it happened. Checked the old neighborhood Facebook group last month. Stupid, but I did. Someone posted, "Whatever happened to that dog killer who lived on Oak?" Top comment. Heard he lost everything. House, girlfriend, business, good. Another. My kids still have nightmares about what he did to that poor dog. 47 likes on that one. Beverly served 11 months. Early release, good behavior. She's living with her daughter in Phoenix now. Frank's still in Westfield. Still has his cop friends. Still gets invited to the police charity golf tournament. Princess is alive. Lives with Beverly's sister now. Saw her on the local news last week. They did a follow-up story. 3 years later, Princess the survivor thrives. She's adjusted to 3 legs. Runs around pretty well. Happy even. The reporter called her an inspiration and proof that love conquers cruelty. They showed the escalator video again, the edited version. My new coworker was watching on his phone. Man, what kind of psycho does that to a dog? I said nothing. Fixed another laptop motherboard. Some battles you win by surviving. Lost the house, the business, the girlfriend, the savings, the reputation, but I'm still here, still breathing, still working. That's victory, I guess. Doesn't feel like it. Some victories feel exactly like defeats. My phone rings. Unknown number. I don't answer. Never do anymore. Could be a client. Could be someone who found out who I am. Could be another death threat. Don't care enough to find out. It rings again. Then again. Finally stops. Voicemail notification. Delete without listening. This is life now. Small, careful, anonymous. Grandma's house belongs to strangers. Her roses are still dead. Nothing grows there. The memorial plaque was removed. Like she never existed. Like I never existed. Sometimes I dream about those 4 seconds. What if I hadn't reached forward? What if I'd caught Princess? What if I'd taken the stairs that day? 4 seconds in a Westfield shopping center. That's all it took. The phone rings again. Unknown number. I turn it off. Some calls you never answer. Some escalators you never ride. Some battles you win by walking away alive, even if you leave everything else behind. Even if winning feels exactly like losing. Even if the 3-legged chihuahua becomes a hero and you become the villain forever. That's survival. That's all I have left. That's enough. It has to be.